Okay, welcome to the weekly shir of the Zera Shimshon. And hopefully this will make everybody happy this week. We're in Parshat Vayetzei, and Yaakov's starting to make a move in the world. And it is Yud Kislev, Tavshin in Dalet. And hopefully this will... I actually have a segula this week. It's a really good one. So let's talk about it. It says, why did Rachel ask for children only after Leah had hers? Okay, it says, Vayar Hashem ki sanua Leah, v'yiftach es rachma v'Rachel akara. Hashem saw that Leah was unloved, and so he opened her womb. Apparently she was an akara as well, right? Yemois. But Rachel remained barren, and Rachel saw that she had not borne children to Yaakov, and Rachel envied her sister, and she said to Yaakov, give me children, and if not, I'm dead. Strange accusation, okay? But, and the way that Yaakov responded to her was also even very strange. Okay, let's talk about this. Hashem opened Leah's womb because she was unloved. What does that mean, right? What's the connection between being unloved and bearing children? Furthermore, we see that Rachel saw that she hadn't borne children for Yaakov, and she was jealous of her sister, right? So, is the reason Rachel wanted children because she was jealous of her sister? We cannot even suggest such a thing. Rachel was a completely righteous woman. One of the four Imais. Oh, my goodness. But we do get an explanation. But we need an explanation. Another question. Why did the Torah write Rachel saw she hadn't borne children for Yaakov when it could have been if sufficient to write Rachel saw that she hadn't borne any children? Why was there another husband here? Why was there a need to mention Yaakov over here? The Gemara in Yevamah says that why were they always barren? To teach us that Hashem desires the prayers of the holy ones. Leah was also barren, but Hashem saw that she was unloved and understood that if Yaakov was going to daven for any of his wives, it would probably be for Rachel, who was the mainstay of his home, right? That's what it says, Akeres Abayis. Hashem therefore opened Leah's womb first. Once Yaakov had been blessed with children through Leah, there was no reason for him to daven for Rachel. Why is that? Yaakov didn't feel that the reason why the Imais were barren was to encourage their husbands to daven for them. What made him feel that way? The answer is simple. He saw that Leah conceived without any prayers at all. And if you ask, wait a second, what about the fact that Sarah Imenu and Rivka Imenu were both barren as well? Yaakov would have answered that Sarah Imenu needed to change her name to Sarah from Sarai. All right. And the reason Rivka didn't have children right away was also that the nations wouldn't attribute her children to the blessing that Lavan gave her when she left home. Her sister, quote unquote, should grow into thousands of myriads. That is why Torah states that Rachel saw that Yaakov wasn't davening for her and understood that he didn't think the reason that Emais were all barren because Hashem desired the prayers of their husbands. If that's the case, then Rachel said to herself, our children must be coming to us in the strength of our merits. Okay? And that is why it says Rachel was jealous of Leah. She was jealous of her good deeds, which is why she came to her husband and said to him, give me children, otherwise I'm dead. I'm like dead. That's why it said one of the things in the Gemara that there's four people that are considered like dead, and one of them is like you don't have children. So, anyway, of course, you don't have money, you're poor, you also don't like considered dead because you can't do anything. You can't do any mitzvahs. Like Rachel was telling Yaakov that he needed to daven for her, since if she wasn't blessed with children, people would say that she wasn't akin to a dead person. Why? Since it would become obvious to everyone she did not possess the necessary merits to be blessed with a child, and sinners are called dead people because they are even when they are alive. There was therefore no recourse Rachel told her husband that he had to daven for her to have a child. Now, as we're speaking about having children, this is a segula story. I haven't told segula stories for a couple of weeks, but this is really good. Okay, as I wrote in the introduction to the Sefer, Rabbi Yomin Pashkis and Rabbi Yisrael Zilberberg run an organization called Mafteach Shel Banim, the key to children, whose aim is to provide chizuk to couples waiting for children. They send out weekly newsletters and hold gatherings and are constantly thinking of ways to be mechazik the couples involved. On one occasion, Rabbi Yomin decided that instead of just sending out the newsletter, he wanted to do something more. That week, he sent a copy of Zera Shimshon to every one of the couples, and he also made sure to devote that week's Mafteach Shel Banim to the Torah of the Zera Shimshon, so that the Sefer's recipients should understand the power of what they were holding in their hands. A year later, a letter arrived from Rabbi Binyamin's mailbox. Dear Rabbi Binyamin, having received your precious gift, I wanted to let you know what's going on in our lives. We have been waiting for children for the last 8 years. Being childless is a constant challenge, and after our hopes had been dashed to the ground on so many occasions, I found myself growing more and more depressed. Last year, you sent us a weekly Mafteach Shel Banim, and along with that, a copy of the Zera Shimshon. I opened the Sefer and at random page was shocked to see that my hand had led me to one of the Parshas in Chumash Dvorim, where the Zera Shimshon discusses the inyan of benching children. In my state of mind, the fact that I had opened the Sefer to that exact page was like a bolt of lightning telling me that I simply must begin learning Zera Shimshon. Immediately, I was mekabel on myself to start studying the Sefer every single night before going to bed, with the hope that we would see the fulfillment of Zera Shimshon's bracha for children. He quotes, "Your eyes will see children like olive cheese sitting around your table." Okay? That's what the Rabbi Zera Shimshon promises. Rabbi Binyamin, I just wanted to let you know that my wife and I celebrated the birth of our first child less than a year after I began learning the Sefer, and we wanted to thank you for the part you played in our simcha. And he gives a name, it doesn't matter who it is. It's a pseudonym anyway. Anyway, everybody should be happy with their children, and those that don't have children, make sure that they study the Zera Shimshon and do everything they can to promote the Zera Shimshon Sefer. And everybody should have a wonderful Shabbos, Vayetzei, and we should all go out of all of our tzoros, and it should be a refuah shlema for all the people that were injured in the soldiers that were injured in the battle in Gaza and in northern Lebanon. And may we see quickly the redemption of all those captives, those kidnapped by those wicked Hamas Mishugayim. Okay, go to.